everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Will I Buy It series, which is inspired by Samantha March's series of the same name, in which I sit every single Sunday and I tell you guys about makeup releases for this past week, and I tell you guys about whether or not I want those releases and why. I love doing this series, and by the way, yes, I do this every single Sunday here on my channel. And let me just say that if you're new to my channel, I post videos every single day and I like to do a lot of content surrounding makeup. I like to discuss the makeup industry, the YouTube industry as a whole, and I love being creative and I love just looking at makeup as an outlet for creativity and artistry, and you know, it's just my passion and that's what I'm like just really into right now, so I have an entire YouTube channel surrounding it. So anyway, that is my little spiel, so let's just get right into this video. There's a lot of makeup to talk about today. I have it on my computer right here, and there are some interesting things and some not so interesting things, so let's just get into it. Makeup Maniacs Cosmetics is launching a new Uranus palette. It's going to be retailing for $45, and this is it right here. I absolutely love this palette. I think it's so incredibly cool. I really do love like the spacey theme that we've been seeing through a lot of different makeup collections, and I hope that we'll be seeing more of that moving forward. I just really like this palette a lot. It's an indie brand. So yeah, I do love the shades. However, if you look closely, the shade names are basically inspired by bums. You have names like Derriere, Bum, Tush, Trunk, Junk, Buns, Apple Bottom, what? Bad Onkadunk? Kind of like that one. All the shades are related to your bum bum except this purple shade, which is called Uranus. I feel like an adolescent boy, but if we're gonna be inappropriate here, I do want to point out that I kind of see how the name Uranus can kind of relate to your butt, but I just don't really want a palette that is space themed but also bum themed, you know? Like, I don't want that in my collection. And yeah, I like rarely even talk about like shade names on my channel, but I don't want to be spending $45 like on a palette that is like, that's kind of, that has names like this. This is just a little bit too weird for me, and I am super weird, but I don't want to be spending $45 on this kind of weird, you know? Maybe someone else might have a different opinion, but that's just me. I don't really, I mean, I love the colors, I love the entire theme of the palette. I just don't like the underlying theme, you know? I don't know. Some people might. I don't really want to spend $45 on something like this. Maybe if it was like $15 or $20, I'd feel better about it. But like, $45 is a lot of money, in my personal opinion, to be spending on something like this. We have V Cosmetics launching this new Blueberry Cosmo Swirl palette, and it's going to be retailing for £20. I love like the space theme that's been going on in a lot of makeup releases. I feel like it's really cool and really interesting. I, for one, really do like this color story a lot, and I actually might even consider getting this palette. I feel that the inclusion of several different shades of blue juxtaposed with like the purple and a little bit of red and some green, I feel like it's a very pleasing, like very interesting color story that I actually really do like. I will say that the red looks a little bit out of place because I feel like the entire palette is like this really interesting gradient, and then you have like that red thrown in, so that's just like me being a little bit weird, but like I love the color story. I think it's a beautiful palette. Okay, so we have a better view of the Glamlite Burger palette, and then we also have the inside of the Glamlite Milkshake palette as well. I love these palettes. They look so cool, so interesting. I particularly really do like how most of the colors in the Milkshake palette appear to be metallics. I feel like it's kind of interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have said this like say like a few months ago, but I mean, I think it's kind of interesting to have like a selection of like metallic colors, because I will say that I feel like it encourages the consumer to use more than one palette and therefore to come up with a multitude of different combinations, color combinations for various looks. I feel like it encourages you to not just use one palette but to use many palettes, and there's a little bit of a positivity to that, I think, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I do love both palettes. I think they're absolutely beautiful. The burger palette, I will say, is my favorite, which surprised me. I did not think that the burger palette would be like my cup of tea, but I really do like it. All the shades, they fit the theme, it looks brilliant, and I just love it. Like, I think it's so cool, so interesting, and this is definitely my favorite palette out of the two. This is a palette from Midas Cosmetics. It's called the High Times palette, and it is currently available for $20. I feel like I've talked about it before, but at the same time, I feel like I haven't. I don't know. See, this is what happens when you do so many of these videos. All these makeup releases start going through your head and coming out the other ear, and you basically don't even know, like, you don't even remember what you talked about. Like, I can't even tell you what I talked about last month because there's so many makeup releases that come out and that I'm talking about that I just can't remember. So if I've talked about this before, I'm sorry, but I like this palette and I like the color story a lot. I feel like it's an interesting step mixing in green with some orange shades. It's interesting and I really do like it. There is a slight cannabis theme to this palette. So I would say about a few months ago, I had a very negative opinion about the idea of using cannabis as a theme for makeup products because I felt like it was glamorizing a substance that is in many parts of the world illegal, especially around the US. It is legal in some states but illegal in others, and I felt like it was harmful in the sense that it was glamorizing a substance that if you get caught possessing it, it can land you in prison in some places. You know what I mean? So I will say that that's why I kind of felt like iffy about the idea of having it as a theme in makeup. But now that I think about it, I think that people who spend their own money to buy makeup in general, they're usually are of sound mind and they can make their own decisions as adults. I don't think anymore that the idea of glamorizing cannabis in makeup is really a viable issue. I just feel like any other theme, it is a theme and it is a source of inspiration for these makeup companies. I feel like the green makeup trend and the idea of using cannabis as a theme in makeup is kind of intertwined, and it is producing a lot of really cool and interesting color stories. And I'm here to talk about the makeup, and I definitely think that the color stories that have been produced with the cannabis theme have been really interesting and really cool, and this is no different. I want to talk about this launch right here from Kaleidos Cosmetics. I know that I've talked about this a little bit before in previous videos, but I just wanted to touch on it lightly. We have finally been able to see swatches, and the PR for this particular collection has been distributed. And I definitely want to say that I don't usually talk about packaging. I talk about packaging a little bit, but this has got to be some of my favorite packaging that I have ever seen. I love the marbling theme for a lot of these palettes. Like, these look so pretty. I will say that my usual preference is to purchase palettes that have mostly, if not exclusively, colorful shades rather than neutrals, which is why I'm saying that the green palette is my favorite, because that is a palette that doesn't have as many neutrals as the other ones, but this is really cool as well. It is launching on April 20th if you're still interested in this, because personally I think the swatches look absolutely fantastic. Okay, so this is another indie brand. I know I wanted to talk a lot about indie brands in this particular video, but this is another indie brand called Posh Culture Co. Now, this is a new palette. We don't have a lot of information on it as of yet, but I just wanted to say that the color story looks so cool and so interesting. I love how bright it is. I love the packaging. It looks really cool as well. And I don't know, like, I feel like this is such an interesting, really fun, bright color story. Really do like that. I've been into a lot of like really bright shades, particularly yellows and reds recently, and this palette has both, along with blues that you guys know I absolutely love. So this is an interesting palette as well. I might keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. Moschino is collaborating again with Sephora. They're releasing a round 2 of several different products right here. They have some eraser sponges, pencil brushes, an eyeshadow palette, eyeliner, highlighter, and nail polish. So they seem to be going with like office supply theme, or like a school supply theme. It is quite interesting considering the fact that we are actually going into summer. I mean, I feel like this would have been an interesting like back to school collection, you know? I don't know. But I really think it's kind of cute, kind of interesting. I will say this again, and I've said it before several times, I don't typically go for makeup to collect it. I like to go for makeup specifically because I love the product. I don't want to collect makeup just for the sake of collecting it. I don't want to keep it. I just want to use it. So this is, I assume, a limited edition collection. So I'm not particularly interested in it. I feel like this is one of those collections that everyone will get really excited by and then it will sort of like fizzle away. So this, in my opinion, is not the best investment for me. You do have a variety of really interesting looking products. I particularly love the pencil brushes. They look so cute and so interesting and so unique because like, you have like the pencil and then on the eraser tip you have the actual brush. Really cool. However, is this a good purchase for me? Definitely not. I want to be spending my money on something that I really truly love. I don't want to just be throwing money out because I like the packaging or the concept. I want to actually look at the shades and the products and be absolutely fascinated. We finally have a photograph of the full range of shades of concealer that Jeffree Star Cosmetics is about to be launching. These are going to be launching April 19th for $22 each. And you have all the shades here. Now, you have like an interesting range. I just feel like the selection of light shades in here is a lot more plentiful than the selection of dark shades. I will say that the packaging looks absolutely phenomenal. Jeffree Star is known for his beautiful packaging style, for his beautiful and unique packaging style. He is very good at really just breaking through and creating some really interesting and unique concepts, especially with his packaging, so I do want to give him credit for that, but I do wish that this had been a better shade range. He is also launching a variety of different powders that are going to be launching with the concealers, again for $22. I honestly think that Jeffree Star is somebody I expect to come out with a really good powder because I think that he uses powder a lot. So I feel like he would know what he was doing, particularly when it comes to powder. So I have no doubt that this will be a wonderful powder. However, do I need it? No. I'm currently trying to go through all the different powders that I have in my collection, which is quite a feat, considering the fact that I don't really wear powder anymore. So, since I don't really wear powder, I don't really need to get any new powders. I will say the same for the concealer. I don't really wear concealer that much, and I don't really want to be paying $22 for a Jeffree Star concealer when I could be paying a far less amount for another concealer, you know? So that's just like me being a little bit stingy, but of course I'm not, if I have an option to pay less for an amazing product, I'm going to go do that. Colourpop is launching 12 new loose eyeshadow pigments. These are going to be retailing for $6 each, and I believe that they are launching, I'm trying to see, they're launching on the 11th of April. Pretty much the only colors that interest me throughout this entire launch happen to be the yellow, the pink, and the coral, and that's pretty much it. This is an interesting range of colors, but then again, it's not like very fascinating to me. I definitely can say that I personally am not somebody that is accustomed to working with a loose eyeshadow pigment. I'm just now getting used to pigments, to pressed pigments, pigments, but when it comes to loose pigments, I'm not altogether confident. So I can definitely say that I will probably pass on this. If I'm gonna get any shade from this, I'll probably get the yellow, but even then, I don't think I'll be getting anything from this particular launch. I'm just not too interested. So this is going to be a pass from me. This is actually something that I am very excited by. Mitchell. I can't get the M's straight, okay? He's a makeup artist. He's very talented. He has been featured a lot on Instagram, and he has collaborated with a variety of really recognizable faces in the beauty community, but he is known for his very vibrant, very colorful, and very extreme eyeshadow looks. It has been hinted that he and P. Louise will be collaborating. Now, P. Louise is a UK-based brand. They are very close with Mitchell. They have had a very long-standing relationship, and honestly, I'm not surprised that Mitchell is choosing to collaborate with them at all. I am assuming by this photo that they're going to come out with eyeshadow. Mitchell is just known for his really vibrant and really out there eyeshadow looks. Like that's his trademark. Lancome is coming out with this new Monsieur Big Maxi palette, and it is heart-shaped. It is a pink chrome palette that includes 9 shades of #love in matte, shimmery, glittery finishes. Oh gosh. I spoke about this in last week's Will I Buy It, and I will talk about it again. I think that if you are a luxury brand, if you market yourself as a luxury brand, I think it is, I think it's better to make sure that the makeup that you're selling adds to a luxurious experience. You know, if I'm going to be spending an excess amount of money on makeup, I want to make sure that the makeup I'm receiving is going to basically make me feel like more luxurious. I want it to be an experience, you know, because for a lot of people, applying makeup is supposed to be an experience, and a lot of people love purchasing luxury products, particularly because they want that luxury experience with their makeup. I see Lancome as a luxury makeup brand with a luxurious or more luxurious price tag than a lot of the brands that we see at Sephora or Ulta, you know what I mean? So whenever I see something like this, something that looks very juvenile, something that, I love the shades in here. This is a really wonderful selection of shades, but the packaging and the entire vibe of it looks so juvenile. Whenever I see that, I'm really confused. I want to see something that reflects the price tag that I expect from Lancome, because I doubt that this is something that they're going to be selling for $20 or $30. They're probably going to be selling this for $50 or even higher. Since Lancome is marketed as a luxurious brand, I would expect a more luxurious kind of packaging, you know what I mean? I like the actual shades. I like how they have it divided into a selection of shades for a variety of different occasions. I love the shades. They look so pretty and so interesting. They're really calling my name. However, the entire heart-shaped nature of the palette, I feel like it's just, no, I don't like it. It doesn't really vibe with me. I don't like the shape of the palette. I feel like the entire aesthetic of the palette is juvenile, and I don't want that from Lancome. I would like Lancome to come out with more colorful shades like this, but at the same time, I want them to be coming out with colorful shades in an elevated and a more luxurious way. I don't want this from Lancome. I want this from, I would say, maybe Colourpop, but not from Lancome. Tarte is collaborating with Adelaine Morin, and they're coming out with this palette right here. Now, I will say that this is going to be $39, and it has 9 shades in it. I do not have an actual date for release, but this, I'm not a big fan of this palette. And if you guys follow my Instagram, my makeup Instagram, which is Anushka MUA, it is always linked down below, then you might have seen when this palette was revealed that I actually did a poll on my Instagram asking if anybody wanted a redesign, and I think mostly everybody pretty much said yes. However, I was like considering it, and I was kind of like, well, I don't think I should do a redesign because I have done 2 redesigns recently and they all centered around yellow palettes, and I honestly, like, if I was doing a redesign of this palette, I would probably create a palette that was very similar to those palettes, because this this is like another case of a makeup brand trying to make a palette that is yellow themed, but only including a very small minority of yellow eyeshadows. And I get it. Yellow is very difficult to formulate. However, once I see a yellow theme, I want to see more yellow tones. You know what I mean? I don't want to see a palette that has a whole bunch of neutrals, one matte yellow, and then one gold. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see something different. I'm not going to be doing a redesign on this, and I know I said I would, but I honestly, like, I was thinking about it, and I figured that any points that I would be making in a video like that would basically be repeating myself, and I don't think that's a very good experience for you guys. So yeah, there's that. I'm just not into this palette. I just think this kind of boring, and I don't like it. This brand called Hip Dot is coming out with a new Zion palette on the 15th of April. Now, it is going to be $30, which is going to be $30 for 15 shades. I actually really like this palette. I like it a lot. I really like this, like, interesting sort of like marbleized texture that we've been seeing on some palettes. It looks really interesting. The packaging looks so cool. I love seeing an eyeshadow palette that is just as exciting inside as it is outside, and this is just that. I love it. I think it looks super cool. I will say that even though I really like it, I don't like it enough to actually get it because of the neutral shades in here. I mean, you do have some beautiful colorful tones. I love the lilac and the purpley kind of shades. Those look so pretty. Also, you guys know how much I love pink in eyeshadow. It looks so cool. However, you do have a lot of neutral shades in here, at least for me. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes with neutral shades, and since since I am in that situation, I want to get more colorful eyeshadows. And if I have an option of getting a palette that has colorful eyeshadows but still some neutral shades that I'll probably never use, I don't want to get that palette. I only want to get a palette if it has colorful shades and only colorful shades, pretty much. That's just where I am. That's just me trying to make sure that everything in my collection is getting used. That is just how I want to do things. So that is my personal opinion when it comes to getting that. I need to stretch my legs out because my legs are getting cramped. But that is pretty much all the makeup that I want to talk about for this particular week. Those are all the launches that I want to mention. Yeah, we had some interesting ones, but then again, we had some not so interesting ones. I mean, I will say that, I mean, I feel like I have to keep apologizing for this. Yeah, I don't like to get a lot of makeup. But at the same time, I just want to promote the fact that it is so important to basically make sure that you are very choosy with the things that you're buying, you know? No matter how much money you have, no matter how many opportunities you have to buy certain things, at the end of the day, there's no sense in getting things that you don't truly love, and there's no sense in getting things that you won't actually be using. So that's what I want to promote on my channel. Yes, you can love makeup, you can be obsessed with makeup at the same time. You don't have to go out and get everything just because everybody else likes it, just because you're being told that this is like the next best thing. Only get what you truly want. Don't get things just because everyone else is getting them. Just get what you want. And honestly, like, that's just what I do. And I have a makeup collection that I actually really do love. So that is basically my closing statement for this video. And if you are somebody who is coming back, if you are a regular viewer, if you're a subscriber, I just want to take this moment to say how incredibly grateful I am for you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for dedicating your time to me, because I just like feel so much appreciation to you guys. I mean, I love doing this YouTube thing. I love showing my creativity to you guys, and I love sharing my thoughts and my feelings with you. And the fact that you guys are willing to take time out of your day to sit in front of a screen and watch anything I produce is truly gratifying, and it makes me feel so incredibly grateful and so happy that you guys are willing to do that for me. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really don't say that enough. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye, guys.